What up, y'all? It's Double D Dice. Crap's so nice. So I don't want to zoom in too much with this one because I want to give you let you see the mechanics. But I'm getting back to the Sidewinder. I actually just made a video that I'll post of it's this unit from stick right, or sorry, stick left. So I haven't even practiced this one yet tonight. So I'm going to start with the hard way set, as I always do when I warm up. Last night I was really throwing the 53-45, or sorry, what was it? Yeah, 53-45, because I was getting some double pitching going. So I wouldn't be surprised if I would go back to it. But we'll start with this. Threw it a little too far. 5-4-9. Start with this and see if we need to change sets, because new day brings, it's just like golf, man. You always hear me equating dice to golf, but you have a natural swing, but your swing's not going to be the exact same every single day. So that's why I want to warm up with the hard way set, because just the smallest difference from one day to the next can make all the difference in the world. 6 deuce 8. But yeah, one subtle change, or your arm moving slightly different, whatever it is, can change your normal dice set to a 7. You know what I mean? And I want to see if I'm getting the double pitching going on. And if that's the case, I'll go back to the 53-45. But for now, we got a hard 6. For now, I'm using the hard way set, and this is a CK craps thing for sure. I'm sure Bone Thrower does it too, but CK is the one I've heard preaching it. Have multiple dice sets for each throw, because one might not be working that day. Doesn't mean you're throwing bad. Now, you know when you're throwing bad. You just know when something's not feeling right. Your mechanics don't feel the same. But if you're feeling pretty much the same, it could just be one super small, minuscule thing that's just too small for you to notice that you're doing different one day. And your normal dice set isn't working, so you go use one of your other ones, 6-4-10. And I'm starting to figure out his Sidewinder from stick left can also bring that speed a little bit, where it just dies in the wall like I was doing last night from stick right with the Sidewinder, where I was coming from stick right, left and down on the wrist break, where right now I can kind of bring it a little bit right and down. It's a little bit harder to go down when you're going with your strong hand the normal way, but it's doing it right there, and 7 down. 7 down. So that's only a little 4 throw, but still 6-1-7. Still getting it zoned in. Not gonna change dice sets yet. Can't quit the video either, because I didn't get a long roll. Most of the people most if not everyone only shows good rolls. We got a hard 10. Whether there's potential at CK and Bone Thrower, just rarely 7 out early. But I've never seen any videos of them 7 and out early. You know what I mean? Those two are the only two that I might say actually don't have very many, if any, bad rolls. I'm sure they have some bad rolls that just unlucky, whatever. Not everyone's perfect, but all these other people, 6-3-9, you never see a single bad roll from them. And they're just doing the normal premier grip throw on a hard table, so whatever. There's a time and place for that, but I just don't have any I don't have any hard tables in my area, so there's no use in me putting a lot of practice in on a hard table when I hardly ever see them. It's only if I go on vacation. Yo, 11. But yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. Not every single throw, every single time is gonna be a banger. You know what I mean? Granted, I'm warming up too, so I know I won't typically 7 out that early after 4 throws, but I'm gonna show it to you. You know what I mean? It's part of the game. It's part of the game. 5, 3, 8. If we all threw good every single time, there wouldn't be craps the way we play it. Oh shit! I think I knocked that 5 over. I knocked it over. It was a 5, 3, 8. But yeah, they would just have us rolling it out of a fucking Yahtzee cup. You know what I mean? Where you had, like, if everyone had good rolls every single time, or if all these people on YouTube that never show you a bad roll, if they were throwing that good every single time, then we'd be getting a Yahtzee cup and throwing them out of that. Which, who knows, the game could go to that in years down the line. But I don't think it's in any danger of it happening now. But the young kids, which is basically my generation, got another yo. I throw them yos and threes a lot, man. Did it the other night. It's horn numbers. Which, shit, I might actually even like crapless craps with the Sidewinder, because if I'm hitting that 3 and 11, it's 3-to-1 odds, I believe. Like I said, I've only played it once, so I don't have the odds memorized, but I'm pretty sure it was 3-to-1 odds, which would make sense because there's 6 ways to throw a 7, 2 ways to throw a 3 or 11, 5, 4, 9. So I believe it, which 6-to-2 reduces to 3-to-1. So if it was true odds, it would be 3-to-1. But yeah, if I can hit those 3s and 11s, shit, I'll take that all day. But yeah, so anyways, I know people have bad rolls. They just don't show you it. And a lot of people, like a bunch of these guys, say, well, I don't have time to keep making video after video until I get a good roll. Well, you must, because to tell me you've never had a bad roll on video is ridiculous. Another yo. You know what I mean? It's very obvious that does happen, because you never see bad rolls. You know what I mean? So then you get that illusion of I should be like these guys, to where I never have a bad roll, and every single roll should be 10 or 12 or more. That's just not it's not going to be the case. It's not realistic. 5-5-1. The only people I might cut some slack to when saying all this is the bone throwers and CKs of the world, which is really on YouTube, I'd say only those two, because they show you it on a bouncy table. They have tons of different throws, and I'm sure they have bad throws sometimes, but it might not be when they're throwing videos, or throwing on video. But I love when people say they don't have time. They got boxcars. They don't have time to keep making video after video until they get a good throw. And it's always the same dudes throwing the same type of throws. They have one throw and that's it. I mean, they're probably really good at that one throw, but you're also throwing on a hard top table, which I don't hate on them. Shit, I wish we had hard top tables in my area, because I'd be banging. But we don't, so I don't even practice on them. And hard tops are much easier to throw on. I'm sure you guys, anyone that's played enough knows. Hard 8, anyone that's played enough knows that a soft bouncy table is much different than a hard table. It's a lot harder to throw on, just because it tries to randomize the dice more. And that's why I keep pushing this Sidewinder, 415. I keep pushing the Sidewinder because you're keeping your arm low. You're keeping your arms low, so it's not I'm gonna keep repeating. When you release late, you're throwing it further right. When you release early, you're throwing it further left. Whereas on the any other throw, if you release late, you're throwing it higher and shorter, so you're getting that huge bounce. If you release early, you're throwing a line drive when you're trying to throw something arcing. This does not depend on the arc at all. Really, I mean, it just depends, and then it gives you room for error with the release point 516, because as long as you get the right side spin, it doesn't matter how it doesn't really matter where you release it. Now, if you throw it way the fuck left, if you throw it way left, you're not breaking the wrist. You know what I mean? Like, if you throw it into the hook that far left, you didn't break your wrist. If you throw it into the hook right, you broke it way too much. So as long as you're not hitting in the hooks, and unless it lands and kicks right, but if you're throwing it and it's landing in the hook, that's where you know you did something wrong. But 6, 4, 10, there we go. Covered our point. But that's why I love this shit. I love it. They stay low to the wall. They hit off definitely the bottom half, if not the bottom two diamonds, like bottom two as far as height goes. If not, sometimes they don't even get to the diamonds. And they just hit and put that side spin and die, man. See, that one got up on me a little bit, but we got a yo. Still had the side spin. That's 4 yos. This for crapsless craps, or craps-free craps. My casino calls it craps-free craps. I'd be on the 11 right now, because I'm on the come-out roll. So just for shits and gigs. We'll see if I had another 11 before I had a 7. 5, 4, 9. But anyways, going back to if everyone was doing this shit as well as it looks like on YouTube, we'd be thrown out of a Yahtzee cup. I don't think it'll ever get there. One, because not enough people put the time and effort into it. Two, because a lot of the people on there, I feel like, I don't want to go as far as to say as frauds, but they're not as good as it seems like based on their videos. And three, the younger people in my generation are going more to slots and shit that you don't have to think. Shit. See, that's where I threw that 538. Threw it way late. Not only did I release it late, I jerked the wrist, which was, oh, shit, I knocked it over. I'm sure the video caught it. But I released it way late and jerked the wrist, which is what I was just talking about a minute ago. If you throw it way late and jerk the wrist, you're going to land in the hook, which is exactly what happened. But yeah, my generation has zero attention span and doesn't want to take the time to learn an intricate game, so they're going away from 6-2-6. They're going away from the craps of the world and going to the slots and something they can just sit down on and press a button while they're looking at their phone or whatever. So I don't think craps will ever go to that Yahtzee Cup mentality or whatever it is. I don't even know if that's would be what would happen, but that's what I'm assuming. Like, what else could you really do at that point? Oh, I went off the table. That makes it, I think they both went off. I definitely heard one click and saw it get up, but they both looked like they got up there. But yeah, I just assumed that's what they would do if they were really trying to just take away all possibilities of controlling dice. But I don't think they've seen any shit like this before. 639 point. Let's go. And if they have, it has to be so few and far between. Not only this, but the funny thing is, other than you setting the dice, people at the table are probably going to think you look like a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? And I don't blame them, because this is definitely unconventional. Throwing like this, just coming around and just half circling on them, just leaning and half circling. They're probably thinking like, what the hell's up with this dude? Oh, Jesus, threw it way too far. Hard 6. Shit, I threw a Randy Johnson curveball in there. I guess Randy wasn't known for the curve, but either way, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, people are probably, especially the dealers, they're gonna be thinking, one, it's some shit they've never seen, so they're not gonna really suspect anything. And if they ask why you're setting the dice, just say it's superstition. I like to see all the same numbers, whatever. I mean, they know what the hard way set is, but they're going to come in thinking, what the hell is this guy doing? And we 7'd out. 7'd out, double pitch, 4-3. But yeah, they're going to be like, there's no way this guy knows what he's doing, coming around, throwing some crazy ass side spinning shit, until you go and throw a 20 banger back to back. Well, we covered the 9 and 10. We got 5, 10, 15, 4 yos, and 112. That's a 20 banger. Just like I was talking about. So there you saw it. I'm not gonna